here we are, just about at the end of the Allied turn, turn 4. Allies have gone first, and I'm just going to check in here with a battle for Indaw. The Chindits are going to make an assault on Indaw with these 3 stacks adjacent. Successfully DG'd and killed a step with some American bombers in the barrage phase here, so going to be interesting to see what happens if we can take it before more Japanese reinforcements start flowing in. It's a risk for the Chindits as there's not a lot of supply, and this is going to eat up quite a bit of it. But they could capture some at the same time, and hopefully capture this victory point hex, and then try and hold off, and basically just survive. This would also capture another airfield for them, which could increase their chances of survival. So let's take a look at the situation. So we've got 4, 8, 12 points of attack for the Allies, with an action rating of 5 will be one of our units here. Okay, then a Hedgehog DG'd, so we've got half a point, halved for the DG, half a point, halved. So we're at 2 attack or defensive factors. So we're 12 to 2, so 6 to 1, I believe, in close terrain. For the jungle, yeah, that's correct. Which will put us, so 6 to 1 in close. And the action rating will be a 5 against a 4. And the DG and the Hedgehog will cancel out the action rating there for the defenders. So it'll be 5 to 4 straight up for the surprise roll here. So the Allies will need a 9 or better to gain surprise. Oh, I better spend my supply points here first, actually, to spend 3 tokens. 2 tokens. So we'll just trade here. Alright. So we're looking for a 9. For the Allies, that is. The Axis will be very much hoping we do not get the 9. And we get a 9 and 6 shifts. Wow. Okay. That's going to put us top of the table. 18 to 1 in close. So this is a bit of a bloodbath, likely. Okay. So let's see what happens. 18 to 1. Oh, God. Roll a 2. Modified to a 3. Attacker option 1. Defender lose 1. Option 1. That's, jeez Louise. So we'll have to take an option. Defender will lose 1, so that'll be their action rating unit first. And now we have to look at options. Interesting. I don't see any point in losing a Chindit here. We're still holding the rail hexes, so we're going to retreat. And then the Allies won't be, or the Axis won't be forced to take that option. So they will hold Indaw. What a swing of the dice roll there. That's pretty crazy. Snake Eyes on the attack after we get a max column shift. Alright, carry on with the game. Just finished turn 4, and we'll give a quick update of the situation here. We'll start on the west side of the map, down with the Chindits here, and the Japanese. Japanese kind of just pulled out from Indaw a little bit. After the Allies were forced to retreat, we're going to try and put as much space between Indaw and them as possible. So just a little bit of force in and around there, nothing crazy. And then just holding the same hexes we've been holding all along. No more attacks, anything like that. So, bit of a stalemate, the Allies with the edge, I would say at the moment, since they are cutting the rail line and gaining victory points, and should be doing that consistently for a little while now. So let's go take a look at the Chinese. In the north, the Chinese are holding along the road here, waiting for any sort of exploit they can do. The Axis have pulled back behind the river line here, abandoning their mountain pass and some hedgehogs they had here, in favor of better defensible position behind the river line and less likely of a Allied excursion behind our lines in this position. So try to hold this. I don't expect much movement here for a little while. The Allies have Jack for supply, nothing really, and they need to roll much better if they're going to build any sort of stockpile here. And the Japanese, with some reinforcement and replacements, feel fairly confident that they can hold on to this for a little while now. The Allies are going to be forced down this road because of the supply rules in this game. It's really tough for them to go off map here. They could use the Americans to try and make an excursion through these tracks here, but that would not be easy, and again, the supply is not really there to support it. Might be able to spare a supply point for some search parties in that direction, but not going to have the day on that. I don't think it's going to be the success we need it to be to get this going. It might be a bit of a slow push down the line now, after my mistake of holding a little too far forward with the Japanese initially. Alright, so on to Imphal, where it's gotten a little interesting. Alright, here we are south of Imphal, kind of abandoning our positions in surrounding 17th Indian. They're going to be going away very shortly. They're not going to be able to get out of there and get back in supply anytime soon. So we've pushed our way up the road here and just successfully attacked a battalion stacked in that hex there and advanced into that. Took a step loss, so essentially traded a step for a step, but Japanese replacements are fairly frequent, so we should be able to see some force restored here in not too long. But what that's done now is we can really threaten this southern road now. The only thing sitting in front of us is an MG battalion. We've got 3 units here, one being an AR-5, plus the units that are pushing along the southern tip of the valley here. So pressure going to be building there. So the Allies are going to be forced to probably clear out some of their units in this area around the Shinan Pass to try and spread out and protect all avenues here. The Japanese are going to try and infiltrate through the cracks here, going off the trails, using supply that they were bringing along with them to stay in supply and make any probing attacks that's necessary. Not a lot of attacking though. Supply's not there to support it, and they can eat off the map with the forage rules, so just trying to be a nuisance at the moment. Shinan Pass, kind of, again, not much we can do there. I think what the Japanese are going to attempt to do is just squeeze through these little spaces here and make things uncomfortable. The Allies are just trying to hold it as long as they can, keep the Japanese as far away from Imphal, as far away from the valley as they can for as long as they can. Alright, that's pretty much it there. The Axis actually are going to be going first on turn 5, so should see some infiltration going on. Nothing crazy, but certainly some movements will be happening, and we'll see some positions threatened, that's for sure. Alright, now up to Kohima, where the Japanese are finally projecting a zone of control onto the road there, and with them going first on turn 5, might be able to hit some of these weaker hexes here to try and cut that road line and start gaining VPs for themselves. And also trying to flank and infiltrate with a unit as well. Not a lot of supply. I think a mistake that I made was I brought way too many of these water buffalo, which you can exchange at the start of the game for supply points. Basically the benefit of that is I can use them to eat off the map, but you have to trade for supply points. Seeing as I only had 2 mules I decided to exchange the rest of the SP, starting with this division, for the water buffaloes, but after attacking to gain the positions we've got here, kind of leaves us short on the supply for any attacking. Or we're going to have to start using internal supply to keep the attacks going very shortly. But heating up very much so, and I think getting very interesting. So on to turn 5, March 29th, and the Japanese will be going first.